Elijah, preparation for Ole Miss underway. How has that gone so far? And one more road game before the bowl game. I mean, how excited are you for that?
Oh, I'm extremely excited. Get to play Ole Miss. Get to go back into Coach Reed's old house and show what he done did with this new team. So I feel like we got a very good chance in this game, even though they have a bigger name than us. I feel like we can go in there and fight with these boys.
Is there a little added motivation for you guys to go in there and fight for your coach a little bit and to show, like you said, what he's done with you guys?
Oh, yes, sir. Because as he said in a recent interview, like a little while back, he was a little bit scared to go there. Now he's not, and we trying to be an extension of him, and show that ain't none of us scared to go in there and play with anybody. Ole Miss, anybody. We ain't scared to play with nobody.
Go to John from the Sea of Red.
Hey, Elijah, you kind of just touched on what I was going to ask you, but getting a chance to play against an SEC team, this is the first time you've gotten to play an SEC team since you've been at Liberty. Is this something that, you guys are excited for that opportunity?
Oh, yes. We want to prove that we can play with SEC, ACC. We're an independent team. We don't really have a real conference. So we want all the teams from all conferences to be in our conference to show that we can compete with any conference that's out there.
Damien from the News in Advance.
Hey, Elijah, as one of the leaders on the defensive line, are you guys making it a point of emphasis that you guys are going to win those battles in the trenches since, Ole Miss, a lot is dictated with their RPO and they try to run the ball and, get Matt Corral in space, that you guys want to win that point of attack and really take them out of their element?
The way the defensive line sees it, we're the tip of the spear. So we need to win that battle up front every game that we're in. No matter, I get that this is a good team that we're going against, but no team where we go against that we go in thinking that we will not go in there and dominate up front. We have a very strong mindset as a D-line from our D-line coaches, and that's how we try to come into every game with.
Coach Simons yesterday likened the size of Ole Miss's line to that of NC State from last year. Have you noticed any similarities in preparation of the size and speed and skill from teams you've played in the past?
Our only team they remind me of really is NC State. The NC State has had the biggest, strongest O-line we've probably went against, and if they are comparable, that means they really are beatable. As y'all remember, we lost that game by, I think, a field goal. We were still in that game. We played a very decent game. We just lost on the field goal.
When you go against O-lines like this, I'm sure you love the challenge, but what is it? What does it take to compete at that level? And how do you go in there and approach that when you might be a little, outsized maybe at some certain spots?
The way we figured is they're men just like we are men too. We're going to go in there and show that we have the bigger hearts. All because you're bigger physically does not mean we're not stronger mentally. I love our defensive line. We got a couple small guys, but our small guys got the heart and the mentality like Titans. I think of all my little guys as big men. I don't care if they smaller than me or not. We all the same size. We all monsters in the trenches.
Go to Ed from the Fast Lane.
Did last year's game against NC State, you mentioned that as being a reference point. Was that something you guys pointed to in the offseason, knowing that you would encounter opportunities like this against teams that may have a little more size, but somebody you feel you've got a chance to make a statement against?
We really just been taking each game week by week. We have brought that up this week just because we're playing a team that is similar to a team that we've played before. That's the only reason why we've brought that up. Their size comparison and stuff like that, we're not really worried about it because we're going to go out there, like I said, and we're going to play like some Titans. We're going to play with big hearts, and we're going to put it all on the line.
Elijah, they've got some really good running backs back there as well, 3 different ones, and I think they all kind of bring something different to the table. How much have you had a chance to assess those guys and just kind of size them up and figure, how you guys are going to stop them?
They have some very good backs. They run hard. they're a little bit bigger than we've seen before or that we're used to as a collective group, but that's fine. We still everybody is tackleable. Like everybody's a man in the same right. We're going to attack them as hard as possible, and we're going to do our best.
Would you say it's more their size or their speed that makes them a threat?
I think it's the combination of their size with their speed. They're a little bit bigger, and they run just as fast as any other back that we've seen. So with that, they're going to be able to hit the holes hard. Like we're going to hit the holes harder. We just going to have to fight everything back with the mentality instead of the size.
Last one from me, then I'll get back to Damian. With Matt Corral, he's a guy that has been banged up at times. He had to come off the field this past week against Auburn. Granted, he came back. He can make plays with his feet. He leads their team in rushing. How important is it going to be when you guys get to him to get him on the ground?
Oh, it's going to be very important. He's a playmaker. He makes things happen, and in order for us to stop their team, he's a piece of that we're going to have to focus on big and stop him. We're going to get him on the ground a couple of times. We have made that a point of emphasis that we're not going to let him beat us by himself. If they are going to beat us, it's going to be a whole team effort.
Damian?
And Nick just stole part of my question, but when you go up against a guy like Malik in practice each week and then add in Caden Salter this week as a scout team quarterback, how much is that going to help, I guess, give you guys a sensation of what it's going to be like to face a Matt Corral on Saturday?
I'm not trying to shoot anybody down or put anything bad out there, but nobody's like our quarterback Malik. He is a unique athlete. He's a different type of animal. So trying to go up against him in practice gets us ready for any other quarterback that we will ever have to go against because he is just a different man. And K-Saw, he's going to be stepping up and coming in and doing that exact same thing. So with them in the backfield getting us ready for this game, I feel like they are the perfect examples to get us ready for this game.